This isn't an episode of Corrections. It's something else. It's just not, okay? I got overwhelmed. It's like it's a precursor to the 100th episode, okay? I would call it an amuse-bouche, but I doubt anything that follows will be amusing. I don't know. Their stuff wasn't ready. It's just not. I am gonna do a bunch of corrections, but this isn't that. There's some things I decide. Someone said, I know Seth isn't wearing a wig. Compliment. Because who would buy a wig that looks like that? We had a map of Ireland with Dublin on it. I was told by many an Irish viewer that we weren't even close with the location of Dublin. In our defense, it is one of the lesser known Irish cities. So I went down to Graphics to talk to them, and they were actually doing, when I went down, coincidence, they were working on a new map graphic, and I took a picture with my phone of Graphics working on that. You know what my favorite part of this is? I had Graphics make this. They didn't know what it was for. Be like going into a gun store, buying a gun, and being like, now empty the cash register. They said where we put it was not where Dublin was. It was where the town of Dundalk is. And in our defense, while those two names are very different, they do look very similar after a night out in Ireland. And you might be like, hey, that's offensive. I'm friends with the T-sock. So I know why that didn't work. I called back on old corrections, and this isn't one of those. I said Boeing plane. I was told you should just say Boeing. Saying Boeing plane is like saying Ferrari car. Wish you had told me that before I went to the dealership. Because I walked in and they were all real happy. They're like, oh, Mr. Myers, what are you in the market for today? And I was like, a Ferrari car. I can tell by your faces I've committed a faux pas. You're all judging me now. Well, I'll be on my way. Go purchase a Porsche car. Bays made a joke in the monologue at the expense of metal detectorists. Those are people who use metal detectors. He made a joke about their romantic futures. He was told he should look out. That metal detectorists are people who do not respond well to scorn. Well, I would just say to them, you may have something to say to Alex Bays, but first, you have to find him. Oh, they found him. They found him. His fault, though. He's always walking around with all those coins in his pocket. So Bays, so proud of his coin collection. Hey, you ever seen a loonie? Yeah. From you. It's like a Canadian dollar. Okay, babe. Someone wrote, we had a joke about not a lot of people filed their taxes in 2020, and we said it's because I was using my printer for my kids to do kindergarten, and someone said, not having a printer is no excuse to not do your taxes, as you can e-file. Also, you are rich. You probably have 2 full-color printers and a person to do your taxes. Well, joke's on you, because I am rich, but we don't pay our taxes. Well, April 1st is coming. Hey, so yesterday's closer look, we had this photo. It was supposed to be a Trump voter lighting his MAGA hat on fire. And I did say he was lighting it with a match. So many of you were like, that's very clearly a Bic lighter. Here's the thing, it's easier. I hadn't seen the graphic yet. It's easier for you to see it than it is for me to see it because I don't, they're not actually, the graphics never actually here. It's on a monitor that's way over there, and it's very small. Like when I see the graphic, I wouldn't be able to make it. And we used to have the monitor closer, but then I would just get distracted, and during the show, I'd just sort of like look at myself. OPP, we made a joke about the old song OPP. Weirdly, not exaggerating, 7 people said OPP also stands for Ontario Provincial Police. As if there was a moment, maybe everyone up there got real excited, that might have been what the song was about. Hey, Chief A. Hey. Hey, Chief A, you should check out, they got one of these new hip-hop songs. I think it might be about us, eh? Well, yeah, it's going to do wonders for recruitment, eh? Well, good. Why don't you put it on the stereo? Let's give it a listen. Oh, hey, yeah. Oh, he's down with us. That could be good, eh? Do we know this fella? He certainly keeps saying it like we do know him. Hey, Chief. Yeah? Do you think we actually sound Canadian, eh? There was a comment under the corrections video. This is the important thing to know. Under the corrections video last week. This show is so unfunny. I'm currently watching a bit bashing Steve Winwood. There was not a single funny moment in the entire sketch. Hey, if you feel that way, you got to leave it in the comments under the Winwood video. That's the only way Reese is going to see it. Some of you wrote in to say how bad you think the Animal Flub song is. I got a question for you. Do you think I think it's good? Animal Flubs, Animal Flub. I think we got it. I think we got it. Someone asked, did graphics put up sandals when I said flip-flops? I looked at the picture, I go back and forth. Did it work? The Constitutional Convention could have had ice cream at the signing because Benjamin Franklin brought ice cream back from France. He brought back ice cream, and this is cool, a healthy dose of syphilis. Not good news for his wife. Mrs. Franklin, I forget her name. Beck, do you remember her name? I know you're like, how is it different than other ones? This isn't corrections. Oh, here's an interesting one. I've established in the past that when Wally has a line in the show, because sometimes Wally has a line in a closer look, he gets paid extra. And the other day, you remember there was a monologue where Wally just straight up zoned out, did not go to the second card. And so I had to address it with Wally, because otherwise people are like, what happened? They would have thought I zoned out. And so Wally and I had a back and forth about his error, which, to his credit, he copped to. But then someone said, hey, does Wally get paid for that? If I find out. What in the world, what sort of loophole have we created? Hey, Wally, I heard you took a bath in the NCAA tournament. Don't worry, I got a way to make it back. What's that, boss? Cha-ching, cha-ching. hey, we make a lot of fun of the New York Mets, but we might be in trouble because today's opening day. They got off to a great start. Rained out. Spirit Airlines. We talked about all the things Spirit airline pilots have to do, including wave in the plane. Someone who does that for a living said, first of all, it is not called waving in the plane, it's called marshalling. Second of all, we try not to stand in the middle of the runway. Spirit Airlines also do not serve Bloody Marys, but if you ever want a flight attendant on a Spirit Airlines, you got to go to the bathroom and say Bloody Mary 3 times into the mirror. This is cool. I complain a lot about NBC and how little they pay attention to corrections. Well, a pretty cool promo. These are new cookies. Edible, if you can see here. This is amazing. Legos. Mac Tonight. Cicada Cicada. They're really incredible. We got the Animal Fubs Koala. And thanks to NBC, they are available wherever Witzer's mom's house is. I want to, look, this isn't 100, but I do want to be prepared for 100. And one of the things I want to do is at the end of a closer look, I want the new tag video, because again, we've had some issue with it being podcast stuff. We're going to tag it with a new video pointing people who don't maybe know this exists over to corrections. So this will be the new ending. Hey, I hope you enjoyed a closer look. And if you didn't, why are you still watching? Why would you stay for this part? Anyway, did you know that we also have something on our show called Corrections? We tape it right after the audience leaves on Thursday, and right after our cameraman, Buck, does a whole tank of nitrous. It's full of inside jokes like that you couldn't possibly get unless you go all the way back to the beginning. That's right, I'm not telling you to watch Corrections starting today. I'm telling you to go back and watch from episode 1. If you miss even one, the whole thing is It's easily over 20 hours at this point. It was nominated for an Emmy in 2021, in 2022, and never again. So the arrow is pointing down. Corrections, it posts every Friday. Give it a look. And oh, one more thing. I wrote a podcast with my brother. Okie dokie. Well, this was a thing. We'll see. Oh, call it. Lederman's going to text me right after, so I'll just get it done now. Title card should say this is not a corrections, and put it online as episode 99.5. See me next week.